This morning on World News Now, breaking news. A violent earthquake off Japan's northeast coast has rocked the nation.
Japan's double disaster, its strongest earthquake on record, creates a devastating 30-foot tsunami.
5 earthquake jolted Miyagi Prefecture, northeastern Japan on Monday morning.
Powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake has struck off the coast of Japan. It's triggered a new tsunami.
On the 11th of March 2011, an undersea megathrust earthquake hit Japan at a magnitude of 9.0. It killed 15,000 people. But that wasn't all. A 40-meter tsunami powered through coastal cities, devouring everything in its path. Then came the nuclear reactor failure, which released millions of tons of radioactivity into the planet's atmosphere. All this happened in one day. It shook the world. This short documentary takes you through the events of that day and how the world handled it. Japan is located in Asia. It is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean. It sits on the Pacific and Eurasian plates. No one was really expecting the earthquake, but centuries of pressure had been building up and finally exploded into a frenzy of violent vibrations which could be felt 1,000s of miles away. The Pacific and Eurasian plates collided off the east coast of Japan. It struck at exactly 2:46 p.m. and lasted approximately 6 minutes. That was all the time it needed. Not only was there an earthquake, but a 40-meter high tsunami hit the east coast and traveled 6 miles inland, devouring everything in its path. This is why the 2011 Japan earthquake was one of the worst our generation has ever witnessed. The casualties were in the tens of thousands, with 18,000 people dead as a result of the earthquake and tsunami. The biggest disaster, however, was the failure and destruction of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. This was caused by a cooling failure and a Class 7 meltdown. About 300 tons of nuclear waste poured into the Pacific Ocean, the effects of which are still being felt today. About 300,000 people were left homeless, and some still are. These events had a detrimental effect on Japan's economy, which was at the time booming. The rebuilding and restoration of nuclear power plants, seawalls, houses and many other things were undertaken by the Japanese government, costing about 25 billion yen, 189 billion pounds. This price is still rising to this day. This left companies in shambles and families struggling to support themselves. Due to the nuclear waste, the sea around Japan and even some places in America have turned up poisoned fish and other sea life. Materialistic things such as cars were swept away by the tsunami, leaving millions of people unable to travel. Nuclear radiation was also released into the atmosphere, leaving the government to hand out masks to protect people from breathing in the radiation. To this day, people are ill with cancer and deformations because of the radiation. The tsunami was caused by the earthquake. The earthquake hit first, then came the tsunami. The tsunami was caused by the sea's waves being disrupted by the vibrations underneath the crust, building up massively tall waves which pummeled Japan's east coast. The waves were devastating and caused most of the death and destruction. As the waves built up, they got bigger and bigger and eventually were taller than the sea defenses. People's opinion on the earthquake vary. While some say it was God's punishment, others say we just simply were not prepared. In our opinion, we think people are too naive to think this wouldn't happen. We live in a perfect society. We are not exposed to this type of destruction. People simply weren't prepared. Overall, the 2011 Japan earthquake was devastating, yes, but it showed us that even the most powerful of nations can crumble to the ground thanks to Mother Nature.